Hey everybody, and welcome back to Coaching Naked. Today we're talking about all things desire. Specifically, what do you even do if you fear that you lack desire? You fear you might have a low libido or you lack motivation in your business to move forward the projects that really matter to you. If that's you, just know you are not alone. This is one of the number one reasons people reach out to me in my DMs to work with me, is to actually learn how to build desire so they can get on par with their partners or get back on pace to hit their goals in their business. Today we'll be covering three things in particular. One is really the falsehood of low libido, the lie behind it, and how releasing that can really open you up to a lot more pleasure in your life. We'll also be speaking about the one roadblock or the trap that clients tend to fall into when we're working through low desire that keeps them beholden to it. And finally, you'll learn the three different kinds of desires that you can learn to tap into to create motivation and sexual interest no matter where you are or what you're up to. If that sounds good to you, then please keep on watching. And don't forget to press like and subscribe below so you never miss out on a future episode. My name is Craig Cassie, and this is Coaching Naked. Hey everybody, and welcome back. Craig Cassie here, your executive pleasure coach for entrepreneurs, couples, and singles looking to live more deliciously. And today we're doing that by talking about desire. Now, I mentioned before we'd be covering the lie behind the low libido, and I want to be transparent. There are lots of things that can impact our libido and our desire in general. Have you slept enough? Are you dehydrated? Thirsty in a different way? Are you under a lot of stress for a long period of time? Right? All these things can kind of dampen our desires, our ability to access both motivation and sexual interest or turn on our libido. But there's a separate story that I really want to speak to today, and that is this. We now know from research that there are three primary forms of desire, right? And what we normally think of people who have high desire speaks to only one of them. We would call this one spontaneous desire, or what you might feel is more automatic desire. You wake up and you're horny, you're ready to go. You see your partner and you're turned on. You think of that dream project, that goal for your business, and you have the motivation to go after and get it. Now this is more common in men, less in women, but everyone has a certain amount of it. But if we only gauge desire or libido based off of this one thing, then we'd be leaving out more than half the population who their desire is not leading or is not driven by spontaneous desire, right? You might fear you have low libido just because you don't wake up ready to go, which in your case might actually be absolutely normal. And that's why when we think about the lie of low libido, we really need to expand our definition of desire to incorporate other ways that we can learn to turn our bodies on and our interests back on so we can do the things we want to do. Now, if the first form of desire is your automatic or spontaneous desire, the second one is responsive. Spontaneous says, I wake up, I want sex, let's go. Responsive says, I'm awake, maybe I could want sex, but I need a few things first. If you're responsive, I'll give you a metaphor. It's kind of like you are a piano. We would never get mad at a piano for not playing music if nobody was stroking the keys, would we? We wouldn't say it was broken, it was bad at music, or it has a low libido, musically speaking. You and your body are like a piano in that there might be certain things, certain steps, actions, variables to take into account that will allow your body to be turned on. I find for the work that I do with my clients, this is especially true for people who previously experienced some trauma. Our body wants indicators to actually feel safe enough to relax, to let go, so that we can actually let our desires out. So if you're responsive, you might take a look in a few different areas. One is, what are the forms of physical touch that you know relax your body and also turn you on? And are they forms that require a partner or things you can do on your own? We also want to go through all the different sensory experiences. Are there any other sounds or sights or touches that can lead you to be more turned on? Might look at texting, right? Could look at having conversations with your partner. Could be a form of putting on a really fun and sexy outfit that allows you and your body to feel turned on sufficient to want to have sex. Right? This is the case for many of us, and if all we base libido off of is spontaneous desire, those of us who are more responsive, myself included, we'd be in the low libido category, when in fact that is not the case. So the game for those of us who are more responsive is to explore. to look around with curiosity and see what are the things that have turned me on in the past. How can I utilize them in this moment to also turn me on for the future? When you want to play, these are the practices that will really make a difference for you. Now, if you're here because you're focusing on the business content, just know it's the same way. Right? The more that we are looking to take leaps in business, especially outside of our comfort zone, sometimes we need actions that also inspire us, that motivate us, that remind us that we can do this and we're safe enough to take leaps. Some places you might look are, have you reflected on your past wins? Have you gotten in touch with your why? Why are you doing this? Why are you committed to your business mission? And does that motivate you to take more action? Additionally, can you look to leaps you've taken in the past that have gone well, that can inspire you to do this again from a place of desire and safety? Now, the third form of desire, I consider it the anti-desire. It's called contextual. And I say anti just because most people have an experience of this not working out in the favor that they can remember. Contextual just says, what are the things present in my space that allow me to be turned on or that turn me off? Anti-desire would be like the dog in the bed. If you want to get it on, might not be the best time or help your body feel turned on. Maybe it's a certain light level. Maybe it's the kids are next door and that doesn't allow your body to relax to be turned on. In business, maybe it's there's a lot of noise or a lot of people around you and you want some more privacy, right? So the game to play for those of us who also experience a high level of impact from contextual desire is, what are the things that when present take me out or prevent me from experiencing desire, and how can I remove them away? Or what are the things that when they are present allow me to experience desire, whether in bed or in the boardroom, right? In business, I think of when I'm present to my goals and my past wins, I'm much more inspired. When I have a private space to work without my phone and Instagram on, I'm a lot more productive, right? So taking off Instagram is a contextual way to boost my motivation. All these things, they impact all of our lives, and desire is neither just sexual or used for productivity in the workplace, right? It's simply a tool we can learn to cultivate and operate with. Now, I did mention that you would learn the one trap I find a lot of clients are falling into when it comes to trying to heal or grow their libido and turn things around. And that's this. If you fear you have a lack of motivation or low libido, and you make it mean something, odds are that you're going to stay attached to it and keep experiencing it. And what I mean is this. Sometimes clients will come to me and say that because they have a lower libido than their partner, they're worried that it means this isn't a relationship for them. It is not the case at all. Could it be sometimes? Possibly, in addition to other stuff. But the reality is most of the time, you just need to learn a few new tools that can also help you nurture and get what you want out of what might be a very good relationship. Sometimes we take this lack of desire, we make it this big thing to mean more than it really needs to, right? Especially if you're just dehydrated or hungry or stressed out. You don't need to make it mean that your relationship is bad or this business venture that you've been invested in for years is no longer for you just because you don't feel like working on it. No, take a nap, get some sleep, drink some water. You're a plant, get some sun, right? These things will all help give you more access to desire, but I find when we are afraid and we build up a lack of desire to mean something, that we actually feel beholden to it. It stresses us out. It really weighs us down. So if that's you, don't worry. My invitation is just to pause, take some breaths, and remember that a lack of desire doesn't have to mean anything other than, in this moment, you're lacking desire. That's both human, it's okay, it's par of the course for all of us at one point or another. So allow it to not mean as much as your mind might make it mean, and just explore what other ways are there to cultivate the experience that you do want to be having.